Now, many have claimed that the Taliban takeover was impending after foreign forces withdrew from Afghanistan, but no one expected the takeover to happen within a matter of 10 days. The Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar narrated a similar sentiment of shock. In his first public comments on the situation in Afghanistan, Jaishankar said that nobody saw the endgame in Afghanistan coming and that the international community was ill-prepared for the crisis. Listen in.
Understood for some years now that the United States and its allies, that their presence would wind down in Afghanistan. It's not something which happened overnight. It began, in fact, people sometimes tend to forget, with President Obama. It certainly had a roller coaster time like so many other things under President Trump. But the fact was that for all the debate and deliberation on it, I think it would be a fair statement to assert that the end game was not something which anybody saw coming. I mean, no, it wasn't exactly what was the scenario which anybody was really prepared for.
India had completed its evacuations from Afghanistan before the August 31st deadline. It was possible in coordination with countries like the US, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Iran and Oman. More than 500 people were airlifted in total, out of which 200 were Afghans, mostly Sikhs and Hindus. The political developments in Afghanistan directly impact the geopolitics in South Asia and especially India, what the Indian Foreign Minister calls the ripple effect. Hence, New Delhi has been clear with its stance. Firstly, it has urged the Taliban to not allow the Afghan territory to foster terrorism. Second, as the Taliban gears up to reveal the Afghan government, India expects the group to form an inclusive cabinet. And third, respect the rights of women and minority groups. And fourth, allow those who wish to leave the country. India is especially wary of its troublesome neighbours, Pakistan and China, cozying up with the Taliban. Both countries' vested interests could potentially destabilize India's security. Targeting Beijing and Islamabad, the Foreign Minister Jaishankar said that this is not the time to build diplomatic ties, but to work in the collective interest of the Afghan people.
To my mind, what is most important at this time is we should try to overcome the natural temptation of diplomacy to score a point over the others and try and get ahead of the game. I think this is a time when the international community should actually come together and work in what is truly collective interest.
Our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibil analysed the latest statement by the Indian Foreign Minister. Listen in.
If you look at India's main priority right now, it is evacuation of its nationals. As of now, there are still few Indians present in the country. We know that India evacuated more than 500 people, out of which more than 200 were Afghans, specifically Afghan minorities like Hindus and Sikhs. And that remains the top priority. As of now, the Kabul airport, the Hamid Karzai International Airport is not working. But whenever it starts to work, India's main focus will be to bring out more people, more Indians from Afghanistan, Afghans who would come to India, Afghans who stood by with India and are keen to come to India. So that will be India's main priority. We know that the Indian External Affairs Minister has briefed the Indian MPs, and next 2 weeks will be important in terms of two important summits. One, of course, on 9th of September, the BRICS summit hosted by India virtually, in which the leaders of the BRICS countries like Russian President Vladimir Putin, the Chinese President Xi Jinping will be participating, with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairing the meeting. And then, of course, next week will we see the important SCO meeting, which is being chaired by Tajikistan. Tajikistan, of course, shares land border with Afghanistan, and this SCO meeting will be in a hybrid mode, with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi participating virtually, but nonetheless it is the shadow of Afghanistan that will be dominating the agenda at the SCO.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.